That was like what, middle school when that came out.
Don't make me laugh.
That was like maybe my first phone ? I
Oh,
had that
gee.
game. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Down.
I'd like to fill in my AARP application now, please.
Welcome, Sacramento soccer fans, to the State of the Republic podcast. I'm your host, Luis, and in today's episode, we have a few things to talk about. First things first, we'll talk about yesterday's 2-0 win against Phoenix Rising at home. Yet another win and yet another clean sheet for Danny, which is always great for him to continue to increase his historic goal sheet record. Of course, we'll also talk about our upcoming opponent. We're actually traveling out to Vegas to play against the Lights. That'll be next Saturday, April 11th. Start time 7:30 p.m., so a little bit later than our usual home starting time. Then, of course, we'll talk about podcast winner dinner, which this week, I wish we could talk about that first. You guys might already assume why, but we'll talk about that. And then, of course, we got announcement of the draw, which, by the way, happened on Thursday, not on Friday, like we were thinking before. And we got an opponent in MLS, Minnesota United. So we'll briefly mention that game and what to expect. But with that being said, let's go introduce our team here. We got the usual full squad here. But first, I want to make sure she unmutes. So I'm just going to say right now, start unmuting, unless you want another blooper added here on the episode. But let's go over to Elk Grove with Sharon. How's it going, Sharon?
Hey, it's going great. I remember to unmute myself, and at the time of recording, we're celebrating Easter, I guess, and my neighborhood did it up. I'm doing great. Mom, she got a chance to see all the festivities in my court. All is good. Jared, how about you in Kilgore?
A little weather going on this past weekend, but other than that, good Easter. For those of us that are listening after the fact, loved this past week's matches. Can't wait to dive into, especially last night's win against Phoenix. That's always welcome. And who knows, if we play our cards right, you could be having yet another Sacramento Phoenix match later on down the line, not involving Phoenix's home stadium.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping, right? We're like, please, we want to see Phoenix back in Sacramento here, like at the end of the month. Like that's what we really want, right? Save us a trip. Let's go to Sacramento. I'd rather go to Sacramento than San Jose. All right, and next let's go over to Natomas with Rian. How's it going, Rian?
Yeah, it's going great here in Natoma. It's been a busy weekend for me, but just happy to be back talking soccer with y'all.
What's today's jersey? Not Las Vegas, right? We need to get you a Vegas jersey. It's
a Portland Timbers. I don't have any teams from Nevada, mostly because those teams suck. But whatever. Just repping Portland Timbers. Started the spring. It's their rose kind of jersey that they had a couple years back.
Oh yeah, no, you could not have a Reno jersey, right? I mean, you can get rival jerseys, but that's one that.
Well, I can try.
All else fails,
try.
If all else fails, go ahead and get a Portland Cherry Bombs FC kit. I mean, I'm looking to.
True. The Cherry Bombs have amazing branding.
Yeah, it's an interesting name for sure, right? It's like never heard of that name before. Like Cherry Bomb. What's a Cherry Bomb?
Hey, I'm about ready to get a UCLA Bruins women's basketball jersey. Woohoo!
Oh no, Sharon, it's gotta be USC. Come on, USC is the school.
No, sorry.
Be rivals. Yeah,
USC is a private school. I support the public schools. UCLA.
Well, you already know I have my bias with USC, but all right. Well, let's go ahead and then talk about yesterday's match. 2-0 win against Phoenix. Another clean sheet for Danny. Which is funny, Sharon, I know on Tuesday you were asking for 6 goals. Well, I think maybe you got ahead of yourself, but that was going to happen between 2 days, not between just 1 day. But to get a clean sheet, especially to get one against Phoenix, it's never easy, right? I mean, these teams are always difficult to play against. So
Although
I want to hear.
this year's Phoenix is a little bit different than last year's Phoenix or prior year's Phoenix. I will say they did look a little bit different. They looked they looked a bit disorganized in picking us up. We looked ahead the first half. We looked like a totally team that was in a different class than they were in the first half. Yeah, granted, they may have seen a couple sniffs at our goal. It was a tale of two halves, and I know Rian will talk about this as well. Even when we read the coach interview, the interview sheets, everybody talked about the first half, but there wasn't much said about the second half. As it felt like, yes, okay, we probably bunkered down a little bit, but I think we lost some compression of the lines moving forward. You know, when we were doing the press in the first half, we caught Phoenix flat-footed. It was just a phenomenal couple of goals that were scored, amazing goals for sure. Blake Willey is, home. He opened his account, finally scored his first professional goal in league. And then, to have Domi the Wizard come back again and score a goal. And the buildup is different. The buildup when you're watching it live looks very different than it has in the past. We saw patient buildup. We saw small-sided games being played in the middle of the park, like right in front of us. The guys had so much confidence passing in tight spaces. It was, like I said, it was two different halves from first half to second half. They still did great in passing in small, tight spaces, but I will say, there it is. So what we're watching right now, if you're listening, they pulled up Blake Willey's goal that got his first goal, professional goal. The fans were all out of their minds. We were all out of our mind cheering when Blake scored that, and you couldn't even hear. There was so much noise. We couldn't hear Connor for the cue for yelling Blake Willey. You know how we always do the last name when the goal scored. We finally heard it on the second. We heard it, but the crowd was so loud. It was intense. But anywho, that really was refreshing and worth being in attendance. Now, those of you watching the game, it looked like there weren't very many fans when you look at the far side, but the whole west side was pretty full, and VIP was packed. So, and then the Tower Bridge Battalion was in rare form. They were loud. They were the whole time chanting. It was great. Great atmosphere, great win. We definitely need a game like this in league play that followed the Open Cup match against Valley. So it was, I wish you guys were all there because it was pretty fabulous.
Yeah, no, but Blake getting his first goal, and what a way to get that first goal, right? Because it's like he didn't hesitate at all. He just took his shot. Like the moment that Jago passes the ball to him, he knew I'm gonna shoot, right? And it's like, oh, let's have more players like that get into those open opportunities to pull a shot like that, because you'll get a goal most of the time every time you do what Blake did here to open up, right?
So if you've ever played soccer and somebody gives you the perfect pass with the perfect weight to your perfect foot, you have no choice, if you're skilled, to do what Blake did. And Ajago gave him the perfect pass, the perfect weight. It was just like the way it hit exactly in stride for Blake. Blake didn't have to touch it, to reposition it. All he had to do is tap it in, and he did it. And it was a left foot. So props to Ajago for that beautiful assist.
Yeah, I gotta say, Ajago did so perfectly with this move. He was able to track it down, kept awareness of where everybody was, saw Blake Willey open, faked out the defender, got over to Blake Willey. Blake Willey, like you said, just all he had to do was tap it in, and thankfully, no bar, no miss. It was all net, and a beautiful way for Blake Willey to get his first career goal. Academy product. he's going to churn out more goals after this. I just know it.
Yeah. Rion?
Yeah, I'm gonna start like with overall match like kind of thing. Sharon, you talked about it earlier about the inexperience of Phoenix Rising. The average age for Phoenix is 22.9 years old. That's in comparison to Sacramento at 25.4 years old. So, Sacramento is a pretty young squad, but Phoenix is even younger, and it showed in this match where Sacramento jumped on them like from the get-go and just didn't look back for the first half. Coming into this match, after the Valley 559 match, I was hoping to see that the Republic's attack was kind of unlocked going into league play. I was hoping to see, the Republic just go hard on the attack and, don't and not look back. And that's what we saw in the first half, where the Republic, came out fighting. All the players were wanting the ball, wanting to press, wanting to execute, and it paid off for them with the early goal from Blake. Now on the goal itself, just for Blake to have that confidence to hit that kind of ball, we've seen him try and score throughout the season and previous seasons beforehand, and he wasn't able to do it. But to continue to have that confidence to be like, oh, I know I can hit this. I know I can score off this ball, which is a very hard technical pass, and you needed good technique to hit that as well as Blake did. And so it was good to see him get on the board, get his first goal.
It was Aaron Essel. He has changed my mind 110%. He's fabulous. He's a fighter. He's tall, he's strong, he's fast, and he's accurate, and he's good with his feet. So when you see those things in combination with Blake, with the other guys, Arturo, who's good and smooth and silky with his feet, we see a lot of intentional passing versus stupid stuff where you dribble, lose the ball. Mm-hmm. We're seeing this everything is intentional, and being able to play in small spaces. You guys saw this last night. Our players being able to play in tight quarters, right? Everybody saw that. The passing from Mark Anthony Kay, from all the way around, all the guys like putting balls slotted right in between two players. Yeah, a couple times they got picked off, because it wasn't weighted hard enough or whatever. This is an entirely different skill set with this squad. Blake is part of that whole change.
Yeah, I will say I was surprised that the Phoenix defenders gave him so much space, right? Like, it seemed like it almost looked like Blake literally walked in without being marked at all, right? It's like no one saw him. He was like a ghost that just got to it and then scored his goal, and he was like, yeah, I'm good. Which actually worries me about us even remotely having a chance to see Phoenix come back to Sacramento here in a few weeks, because the form that the Earthquakes have, I think they're going to have a goal fest when they travel out to San Jose. Because if this is how they're going to be playing against them, no chance. Like, if we win, we are going to be traveling to San Jose just based on seeing that right there.
So what we just saw some passing sequences of the guys being confident of passing in tight spaces. Being able to recover balls and restart play and literally threading the needle on some of the passing. So we're kind of watching this accuracy that we didn't always see in prior season. So, it's just such a blessing. And then guys coming to the ball. Now, Neill still had to bark at the guys, to get in position, to move, to not ball watch. I could hear him telling the guys, get up when they were on defense and when the whole squad was lagging, but when Neill would yell at him, there'd be like, all of a sudden they'd move up as a unit, press forward as a unit, as opposed to leaving too much space in between the lines. So that's something also different that we're seeing this season. The second half, and Rion, I know we'll talk about this here in just not much longer, but in the second half, you saw us getting just a hair more stretched, and we saw Phoenix kind of putting the press on us, and that was intentional on their part. But it was almost like we got penned in our half, and a lot of it was because we weren't getting forward quickly the way we were in the first half. But of course, that could have been intentional, the bus parking thing, that whole thing. So I'll let you guys take it from here.
Yeah, no, that was probably intentional. We've seen other games where it's the same thing, right? You might have a really good first half, and then the second half, I think it makes sense, right? I mean, the opposition's going to try and do their all to get that one goal, right? To get there, which I will say towards maybe I think the end of maybe the 75th to the 80th minute, they did have a play, right, where one of the Phoenix players had a clear chance to header the ball in, but thankfully it didn't go in. But that play right there could have changed the game. So good for us, but also just something to take note of in the game, right? It's like, all right, we can't make that mistake because we could pay the price in another game, because they would have like maybe 15 minutes to score the tying goal after that. But let's go ahead and talk about the goal that Dom scores. Oh,
Wait,
Rian?
mind if I chime in here? I mean, I just want to add into this conversation of us like kind of backing off in the second half. I mean, we kind of already saw it this season with the Monterey game, and it almost worked for us. Like, apart from that one freak goal from Monterey and the penalty, but like other than that, Sacramento should have had that match, and we employed that tactic again here against Phoenix. And I'm fine seeing this tactic from Sacramento, like parking the bus. I mean, I grew up as a defender, so I'm fine with this entirely. But I'm fine with seeing Sacramento back off a little bit, letting the opponent get the ball, because I know the defense is solid. It's an elite defense. Danny Vitiello is in goal. These are players that we can get a result with. So, I'm fine resting on our laurels, resting on our defense, because we know we can depend on them.
Oh, yeah. Now let's just hope that everything's great, because a lot of them have been playing a lot of minutes, right? I think of Poorly Desmond in the Valley game, which I'm glad that we were able to get that reel cut up, by the way, because that was exactly what Sharon was envisioning, right? Is having that clip there. But yeah, I mean, while we have them, great, perfect. We do have a pretty solid defense, which is good for us, especially leading into the Open Cup game. So let's go ahead and talk about the second goal that's scored. Talk about another guy who's on a recent fire streak, right? Like, he scored against Valley. He gets another goal here. Dom assisted by Michel Benitez, and doing that classic, knee celebration. It takes me back to the Premier League times, right? Because I feel like in the Premier League is where they do more of that. But yeah, I mean, Dom he's got his confidence at an all-time high.
And the only reason why they can do that in the Premier League there is because the weather is so wet most of the time that the fields are wetter than they are here in California. And so that slide is easier when the grass is wet. So I think he had to calculate how much they watered that pitch, because if the grass wasn't a little bit moist, that slide, he would have done what Matt LaGrassa did, the belly flop, right? But he did it perfectly because he must have known that corner was a little wetter than most. Anyhow.
See, this is how I know Sharon's in my brain, because I was about ready to mention the great Matt LaGrassa as well with his slides. But no, I mean, either he learned or he already knew how to do it. But just like you said, he knew where it was. Perfect slide to celebrate. But of course, we got to talk about this goal by Daddy Dom. I mean, just going straight up. I mean, he saw that opportunity. He put the knife in the Phoenix and then just ate them for lunch and dinner afterwards. I mean, beautiful goal. Great way to keep that second goal streak going, because he did score as the second goal against Valley 559 earlier on in the week. So to get the second goal in a second match in a row, something's afoot here, but it's a good afoot.
We'll take it. The buildup was beautiful. Again, Michel Benitez, he's that hidden gem of a player that we have. I mean, Rihanna, I would love to hear his stats from the game when we get to that in a minute, because I think it's important that we look at some of the players' stats, and then also to hear coaches' remarks, and we're going to do that at the end, we'll piece those in. Coach has remarks about Dom. He's dangling the carrot in front of this guy, right? He's liking what he's seeing, but he knows that there's more that Dom can offer. So he's not like saying Dom has arrived. So you'll hear it listen carefully, because you'll hear it in the coach's comments about him. There was a question asked about him. So we'll get to that.
Yeah, just want to chime in. Great to see Wanner like flourish after like kind of an okay season last season with the Republic, still getting used to the system and all that. But it's great seeing him, thrive in this kind of environment. But also I do want to talk about Benitez for a little bit and the Republic backline. We saw a lot of them get into really advanced positions. We've been seeing that throughout this year, and it paid off for them here with Benitez with a heads-up play, turning a turnover into a goal, Just great awareness from Benitez to win the ball like very quickly off his man and turn it into an assist. But we also saw players like Desmond and Kleeman moving way up the field and, trying to win tackles, trying to win, fouls for the team. And, it's a very aggressive backline that we're seeing for the Republic in a great way, and something I don't think we've seen before in the history of the Republic, where the defenders are as aggressive moving forward into the attack. And it's fun and interesting to see.
Yeah, no, it's nice to be offensive, right? Even if, like, you could always have the opposite happen, right? But I think it was you, Sharon, right? You talked about it at the beginning of the season, right? During preseason, you said that's what we can expect this year, right? Is that we could be a high-scoring team, whereas we could also get goals scored on us, right? We could see some like 4-3s, 3-2s happen, but hey, we're okay with that as long as it means us getting the win. We'll see goals, and you can always learn from the goals you get scored against. But yeah, no, and Dom made it look easy. I mean, he just plays the shot like, yeah, it's nothing, right? I know how to do my shots, and yeah, I mean, it's great that they have that. I think they just also had the confidence at an all-time high, right? I know it was Valley. I know it's different leagues and stuff, but I mean, you win 4-0 in any match, you're going to go into the next match with pretty good confidence, right? And also shout out to Freddie Kleeman as we're looking at the repetition here, right? Because he saved us from a 2-1 early. I think that was still in the first. No, that was in the second half, right? Beginning second half. He basically placed his face right in front of the shot, and yeah, I hope he was okay after that, because I mean, you guys know, right? If you played soccer, even if you just played for fun, when you got a ball to the head or a ball to the face, that left a mark, right?
Yeah. So I got a comment about the positioning. To Rion's point about our defenders being different. I mean, we're just playing a little bit differently. Lee saved us at the other end. There's this was actually, yeah. So Lee saved us at the other end with a headed ball out. It was clearly going in, and Lee saved us from that one. It's interesting. And then immediately right after that, we were pressing upfield, and you saw Lee making a run. To Rion's point, all of a sudden he's deep in the pocket. He's up at the circle, up at the arc. And it's like, holy smokes, dude, he's here, there, he's everywhere. And then, Freddie Kleeman did the same thing. It's like if they're giving us space and the other team is naive enough to not have enough, when we're confident and we know that we can catch whoever it is that could be breaking away, which there was a play that way in the first half, I believe. There was a breakaway, but thankfully it didn't amount to anything. And I think it was Lee Desmond that prevented anything from amounting to anything in the first half. Anywho, we take advantage of these plays because Crisostomo reads things really, really well. He drops back deep if something is happening. He'll drop back. He's pretty quick on his feet. And then now we also have Aaron Essel, who's very fast. So it's like we have all the bases covered. And typically we don't send both center backs forward. If Lee is up, Freddie usually isn't, and vice versa. If Freddie's up, Lee usually hangs back. They're positioning, they're reading these games better. Now, we have been caught I think it was on the 21st. We talked about it, that we got caught in miscommunication. Do you remember that? Us conversing about that. I think they patched that up. The miscommunication that allowed a goal to get scored against us. And I think Lee was involved with that. A little bit of a miscommunication with, was it Chibi? I'm trying to remember who didn't make the trailing run. We were arguing about that a little bit.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, against El Paso. I think that was just last week. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure. It was. So they fixed it. They fixed it. And that's what the coach is there for. That, they're analyzing every aspect of the game, and they're fixing things. Plus, they know Phoenix doesn't match up to us. So we're able to do this. We're able to get this big goal. But I want to hear, Rion, who have the best overall, the stats in the games of the defenders, like duels won, accurate passes, that kind of thing. Do you remember? I know you put everything together, or you have a way to look more quickly than I do.
Yeah, so FOTMOB has Michelle Benitez as man of the match for this one, with the assists and a couple chances created. In terms of passing accuracy, that will go to Desmond and Kleeman, but they're the center backs. They're going to be pretty accurate with the ball. Both Essel and Benitez led the team in tackles with 5 each. And they were the leaders for duels won as well, with Essel winning 11 out of 14 duels and Benitez winning 8 out of 11 duels. So solid performance from the wingbacks tonight for Essel and Benitez. Solid performance overall from Desmond and Kleeman as well. But yeah, Benitez takes the man of the match honors for FOTMOB. But you can't go wrong with picking anybody on the Republic roster for this one.
Yeah. No, there's plenty of players that could have been.
So the man of the match from Tower Bridge Battalion this year, this match was, in fact, Blake Willey, for scoring his first goal of the season. And, they could have picked anybody. They do look at FOTMOB, Tower Bridge Battalion does. So,
yeah. And plus, Blake could have had the second goal, right? He had that shot in the second half that went right to the keeper's hands, but it was a strong shot. That shot would have been angled just like slightly over, it could have been another goal. But it went right to the goalkeeper. So he wanted to join the dentistry. When he plays that shot, I was like, I could hear Jared already saying, like, here's another dentist, the youngest dentist to join the dentistry, right?
It's like Western Dental who? I saw that second shot. How impressive would that have been to not only score his debut goal, but to do a brace with it as well? It was just so close. But, Blake Willey's turning that heat up this year, so this is definitely something I love seeing.
All right. So we viewed the first goal. We viewed the second goal. We talked a little bit about individual player stats. Right now, we're looking at FOTMOB's player ratings. And like I said, my first time seeing Essel was like, I thought it was nerves. And in fact, it was, because he has definitely settled in and he's playing. Now then, that brings us to the conversation of the 2 players that are on loan, Cambridge and Rivas. Cambridge did us so well down in not Modesto, down in Clovis. Yeah, the Open Cup match. He was brilliant. He fought for the balls. He didn't rest. He didn't stand on the ball. He was really fast. So we'll see. We now have an abundance of players to get us through these tournament days. And we'll see what happens after day 25. With Essel coming on so nice and strong, it gives me confidence that to let Jack Gurr and Ryan Spalding heal up if they have knocks. I know Ryan has been a stalwart for us in the absence of Jack, and he plays both sides, and he uses both feet, so he's good. But to have somebody like Aaron Essel, I have confidence, in the absence of these other guys that we're so used to seeing. So.
Yeah, no, hopefully Jack can heal like ASAP, because it would be really great should we advance in the Open Cup to have him for following game for the round of 16. I know that would be at the end of the month. Maybe.
So yeah, you don't want to use a guy too soon coming back from an injury, and obviously a nagging injury that Jack obviously has. But one of the things, when you submit your Open Cup roster, there's a finite number of, and I don't know how, Rion, I don't know how, if you can exchange, because once you start the Open Cup, I thought your roster was not frozen, but it's kind of like whoever you started the Open Cup rostering with, that kind of carried through. But I think there's changes that are allowed. This was years ago when I used to have to submit all the paperwork, but I don't remember how it goes anymore.
Yeah, so there are cup tied rules. So if you play a match in the Open Cup with one team, you can only play in the Open Cup for that one team. So if you move teams, you can't play for that team you transfer to. So that's the general basis of how the cup tied rule works. I don't know what the rules are in terms of like bringing on players midway through the season. I'm assuming they're fine as long as they haven't played a game already in the competition for a different team. But yeah, that's my take on it. Can I just say that I think Neill Collins has kind of hit on all his signings so far this season. Like, I don't think he missed with anybody that he's brought on this roster. We're 5 matches into the regular season, and there's nobody that I can say is a weak spot for this roster so far. Even the like short-term signings like Brendan Cambridge. I'm already sold on Cambridge. I want him on a long-term deal.
Yes.
I want him here. We have yet to see more from Rivas, but he's an accomplished. He's an experienced player, so I'm assuming he'll have more to show. But I'm really sold on Cambridge already. Essel already has shown out already. It's a great showing so far from what I'm seeing from this roster.
The man is an ankle snatcher. I mean, God, just to see him fake out that defender in that match, barely first few minutes with the club, he's already got me sold too. So, Team Cambridge all the way at this point.
Yeah, that was a great Ole moment that I was able to put on the game day video that I posted. If you guys haven't checked that out, go and check it out for the Valley game on YouTube. Yeah.
I did, but I had to fast forward through the part where you and your uncle are just walking. I literally just moved that little thing. It's like, let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to when you're actually in the stadium versus just yammering on and walking along the fence line and complaining about how far away you had to park. So if anybody is going on, you got to look at it. But when fast forwarded to getting to the stadium, that's when it's juicy, Luis. And I'll tell anybody that's when it's exciting what you did during that whole thing. It's a very good clip. I'm glad you did that. I want to see more of that. I think that's great.
Yeah, no, it was great, and it again highlighted the Valley players and how they were at the end, and even our own players walking out, and so next Open Cup game will also be there, so we're gonna have another one. But I will say also one more thing here with the subs. I gotta say it again, late subs. Come on, coach. Like, we can't be making subs post 70th minute, especially that first sub. Like, I really wanted to see Kyle Edwards be subbed in, right? I'm like, come on, like you could have subbed him in earlier. Even Chibi, give him more time, right? Our defenders need, some rest, right? Especially after playing on Tuesday. That it would have been great to have seen him, maybe get some more minutes there. But yeah, in terms of our 25-day signings, I mean, we didn't see Rivas get subbed in yesterday. That also would have been another good sub to see. I mean, we saw Cambridge, but Rivas would have been great as well. But yeah, I mean, hopefully they do go past the 25-day mark. We're going to have to confirm. I meant to ask Tim that day, but he was busy, so I couldn't get quite to it, Sharon. But if, we can somehow at our next game that we talk to someone, try and see if there's confirmation that they could indeed pass the 25-day mark if it's like a tryout of sorts, right? Because again, this is all new to us. I've never seen us have players sign for 25 days, but I'm assuming there's got to be an option, right? I don't think they would just...
Yeah, Rion has something to say about that.
Yeah, we actually did have a 25-day player last year with Tyler Clegg coming on with our defense. there is an
Oh.
option, like you can like offer a contract to these players once this 25-day period is up, but like you need to come to a decision if you want to offer them or not.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense. Then maybe that's why they're they're playing for that contract, which is a great thing, right? I mean, let's get us some more players like that know they have limited time.
I say play for the contract, but then play for the crest, because we love it when the guys play for the crest.
First question, as always, thoughts on tonight's game?
I think the first half, I mentioned last week's first half was possibly as poor as we'd been in my time here. I think tonight was as good as we've been. I think that's what we want to look like. From the first whistle to the half-time whistle, I thought we were fantastic. Should have had more goals based on our play, but it was outstanding, and that's the first half performance got us that result tonight.
Can you talk about the impact of Tuesday? Obviously, it was a different competition, but obviously that had to do something for the team's confidence coming into tonight.
Yeah, because when you have a setback, it's always about how you respond. The way we responded on Tuesday was exactly what we wanted. I think it was better than training. They got confidence from playing the right way. How do you give up their confidence? You can't give them it verbally. They have to go out and earn it themselves, and they did that. And you saw that tonight from the first whistle.
We'll start with talking about Dom Wanner. I think that's now 4 goal contributions on the team. Can you talk about, or 4 goal contributions just this week? Can you talk about, maybe some growth that you've seen from him last year to this year?
I think, no, honestly, I think the one thing I never question with Dom is his ability to contribute goals, assists. It's the other side of the game that we're constantly wanting our forwards to do. But Dom, like all the other players, you have to grasp that opportunity. Tuesday was a good one for him. He started last week as well. So he's got the opportunities, and we've seen the rewards of that tonight.
And now switching over to Blake Willey, obviously getting his first career goal tonight. Camera shot to the technical staff. You guys just all look thrilled over there.
Yeah, at first I didn't realise it was Blake that scored, but so pleased for him. As I say, he's been outstanding. Waited patiently again this season, earned the right to be out there, and that's the first of many. That will be the first of many if he keeps working as hard as he is and works on that improving. There'll be many more of those.
You've seen a lot of players from a lot of places. What does this say about Sacramento soccer players? The guys who grew up here, guys who can put on a shirt for their hometown.
Again, I think it's going under the radar. The other night we had 2 teenagers that are full-fledged professionals. We don't even consider Blake and Chibi now too much because we're so used to them being there. The academy players we've got, it says so much about how strong the soccer community is here. All the youth soccer clubs feed into these opportunities that our club can give local players. It's fantastic.
Thanks, Sam.
Blake, we'll start off a little general. Just thoughts on tonight's game.
Yeah, I thought it was a strong team performance. Happy to get my first goal. I thought the first half we were really strong. We pressing hard, strong defensively, and then with the ball we were solid on counterattacks, and just a good team win.
Getting your first career goal tonight, but obviously you got it in front of the home crowd. What did that feel like to get to have this group of people from your hometown cheering you on for that moment?
Yeah, it's special to do it in front of home fans, and my family and friends are in the crowd, and to hear the crowd erupt when you score, it's a good feeling.
I guess after your goal, did you have like a something specific you knew how you were going to celebrate after that?
No, I'm not gonna lie. I've thought about it before, but I never came to like a conclusion of what I actually want to do. So I kind of just did the traditional like fist bump. I was a little bit lost, to be honest. I'm not used to doing that.
This team and being on this field and seeing your family and friends that are here, how much does that mean to you for their support and just the journey you've been?
Yeah, it's really special that people who are close to my life followed me through this journey all the way when I started in the academy when I was 12 to now. It's really awesome to know that they were following along the whole journey.
Is there anyone specifically here that you're really excited that they got to be here for this?
My Nana, she's supported me my whole life, driven me to practice. She's probably my biggest fan. She's very, very enthusiastic.
I don't know this. Do they get anything? Do you guys get like a ball or something when you?
They probably have a ball. They got a ball.
Probably won't wait in the line.
Okay. I was like, get a game ball.
Definitely anyone is first man of the match too with some supporters. So
this is the third one.
The third one.
Third one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about the journey. Like your journey doesn't start with you being 13-year-old Blake playing for us. Like You were at opening night in 2014. You've been around this club.
Sure.
You've been connected to this club. Like, what does that mean for you personally? But what does that show for other Sacramento soccer players that this is real? You can't go do this anywhere else. You really can't find another way back to your hometown team. You did.
Yeah. Sacramento's a special place. I'm obviously not the only academy player who's gone through the ranks. We've got 2 other guys, Chibi and Davion, on the team right now, and other academy players like Luke and Rohan and Jackson Montero. I think Sacramento just does a great job of integrating young players into the team, and I think it's really special knowing you're playing for the team that you grew up in.
7 years ago, you tried out for the academy team. Got anything to say to the kids who are about to try out?
Just got to keep working hard, and you have to enjoy what you do because it's your life. So if you don't enjoy it, there's no point in keeping to do it.
Okay, Dom, just open it up. Thoughts on tonight's game?
I think we had an amazing start. The run from Forster, the first professional goal from Blake, I'm really happy for him. That's what we imagined. We wanted to be aggressive directly from the first minute, and I think at the end it's well deserved, and we had a great start, and everything else was well deserved.
We talked about this on Tuesday night, but the performance like that you guys had on Tuesday night, obviously different competition, but you could feel that confidence coming into tonight, right?
Definitely. I think Tuesday was a very important night, especially scoring 4 goals. I think we keep going. We had a positive week, and we're just trying to continue, but Tuesday was very important for us, I think.
Can you talk a little bit about your new role at the team? I think you're probably playing something different than what you came in for, but you've really seemed to find your groove in it.
Honestly, that's my real position. Left wing, that's my position, and that's what I'm here for. I want to score goals. I want to be important for the team, make assists, score goals. That's my position, and that's what I'm here for. I'm just trying to help the team be the best I can, and I'm lucky that I could score today.
First career goal for Blake tonight. You were with them last year when you got those assists, but what does it mean for the team to be able to see him find the back of the net?
I think he's with the first team for a long time, and to see him develop and improve every training, I think he made a big step in the last year. What I can say from my opinion, I'm very happy for him that he scored a goal, and I think he has a big future here.
Fans appreciate what they saw on the field. What do you think?
We on the field, we try our best. Of course, not just to score and to win. We want to impress the fans and the crowd. We always like when they're with us in every action. So we just give our best, and we're happy that the fans are on our back.
Now I had a chance after the match to have a lengthy conversation with Mark Anthony Kay. He actually came over to 105, where we go down to the rail. Some of the guys come over to the rail. He is delightful. So people are a little concerned that if we go MLS or we have MLS guys, that they're going to be snooty and they're not approachable. Just the opposite with Mark Anthony Kay. He was so congenial, and he wanted to chat about his new baby and, all the things. And he was so, I would say if you get a chance to have a chit chat with Mark Anthony Kay to do that, there were no photos. We didn't take any pictures of them. We were treating them like human beings versus notch in the belt kind of a thing. I got a picture of this person and, I can tag him and he's famous. Now I'm famous. No, we didn't do that. We literally had a real conversation with him. And he was also talking about how the wives and girlfriends, there's so many new families now, and the life of a soccer player's, the partner of a soccer player can be a little hectic. So we had a chance to kind of broach that subject a bit, and how, he would love to see, when the team is traveling, some aspect of camaraderie amongst the wives and girlfriends, something to kind of keep them engaged and keep them busy while they're getting settled, because they're brand new to the area. So they don't know, there's a bunch of the wives and girlfriends that are very settled. They know Sacramento, they've been together, they do things together. And so it was lovely. He's great. Lee is great. Freddie, when you get to talking, nuts and bolts with him, he's great to talk to. Domi is now coming out of his shell a little bit more, and he likes to talk also. But if we treat them like just human beings, it's great. I digress. Because I used to work for the club, it was easier for me at that time to have that connection, versus as a fan, so kind of walking that line. The other person that does it really well is Walt. You know, Walter, who sometimes we should have him on. He is very congenial. So is Brian Danzel. We call him kind of Daddy Danzel. We give him a nickname because he was friends with Jared Mazzola last season, and he was the one that comforted Jared Mazzola, you know, when things were, when Jared needed consoling at the Open Cup, the Jägermeister Cup, the final. Jared was just beside himself, sad because we didn't win it. And so it was absolutely wonderful that Brian Danzel was able to fill in a role of, you know, just comforting, because they're parents. These guys are, some of our fans are their parents, and they understand what young people go through. I just understand it from a personal point of, I used to be young once or twice.
Yeah, but no, I'm glad that you have those interactions with them, and you know, it's great that they're being more approachable with the fans and all that. It's great, especially since a lot of the guys are new, and I think it makes sense, right? I mean, there's a lot of new guys to Sacramento, and they're still trying to figure out what the thing is, right? But our guys who've been around here for a year, 2 years, like they already know, yeah, this is the thing. So I think they're catching on to that. So it's a cool thing. But we got to experience it at Clovis right on Tuesday. We're all like that, and I think the more they see that, the more at home they're like, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. It's just bigger stadium, and really thankful, for them to acknowledge us always. That's always been the thing there, and the coaching staff as well, right? And yeah, it's cool. All right, well, moving on. We saw the draw last week. Well, those of you who maybe did wake up at 6 a.m, or you maybe like saw the repetition like me and did not check that group message to not get spoiled for a rival would be. But of course, we were between San Jose or Minnesota because of the way they sorted out MLS teams. Again, not a fan of that because we could have had a shot at playing against Phoenix again in a week. But you guys know how that goes with the U.S. Federation and what they do there. But thankfully, though, we got sorted out to play at home. So we're going to be playing against Minnesota United. And Minnesota was one of those awkward teams that had to be placed outside of their region, which is good for us, right? A place to our favor. We could see a new team that we've never, ever seen at Jorge Park. And also Minnesota's not doing as strong as San Jose Earthquakes this season so far. So also a plus for us. And also, by the way, they're going to be taking a little California tour because they're going to travel to play against LA. Then they're going to travel against San Diego and then Sacramento. So it's kind of interesting. They're going to move up in a span of, a week and a half or so. So we could play to that advantage because I'm sure they're going to be flying back and forth to Minnesota. And those flights are they're lengthy. I took that flight once. It was about 3 hours. So so it takes a toll on you when you fly that much. But yeah, game starts 7 p.m. April 14th on a Tuesday. So get your tickets if you haven't yet, because I'm expecting this game to sell out, right? I know it's still like early on, but if you want to get some good seats, or in my case, get some aisle seats in your section, then hop on that soon. I know, Sharon, you were saying that they play some tickets for season ticket holders, so more might be available right here in a few days. So just check that out. And if you're a season ticket holder, get your seats before they're not yours anymore and they're out there.
So do we want to show, well, I don't know, did we wait until after the results of Minnesota United, or can we show the artwork of some stickers that are going to be available at the match on the 14th? Because there are Ian Moffat with the Ultras made some artwork, and it's just beautiful. I know you guys like it, the Dream Killers.
Dude, I love that one.
You guys all want
queuing that up on the screen too, and we'll have that. But yeah, no, shout out to him for creating those stickers. I mean, he created those stickers on Tuesday, right? Literally, like,
yeah, we're in Clovis.
On his phone.
He heard the word Dream Killers. Hey, we're the Dream Killers, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing you know, here's these stickers. I mean, he had done this design, and he texted me later that night I sent him a couple bucks, and he texted me later that night and he goes, yeah, the stickers are coming in at such and such a date. And it's like, oh my God, we're making this happen. So there they are. Oh, put us back on the side, Luis. Yeah. Yeah.
There they are, yo.
There you go.
Dream Killer.
Oh man.
For our listeners, it's you got Freddy Cougar. He's right there, right? It says Dream Killers. You got a Sac Republic logo without the text on it. It says Sacramento Republic FC at the top, and then on the side, on the gravestone there, it says El Farolito, and then Valley 559. We might have, in the event that I don't want to get ahead of myself, but if we actually get the win on that Tuesday, we might have to make that stone a little bit bigger, or make Valley 559 smaller.
Yeah.
Minnesota's a long name.
Multiple headstones.
Multiple headstones. Yeah, the MLS side. But we heard because, we're very treading lightly on the word Dream Killers, because Minnesota went through the war backwards essentially more recently, that we're we're going to be handling situations delicately. We had thought about a TIFO like this, but we're trying to avoid the word, certain words like killers. So
That's true.
Yeah.
No.
So, but the thing, look at the red star on the moon. Look at the moon. There's a red star even in the moon.
Oh.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, that's an Easter egg right there. I didn't even realize it was right there. Yeah.
Yep.
Mostly, another good idea that you had, right, was having the quail against the, what do you call it, Minnesota's bird? The other
The
one?
loons. The burb
loons.
fight.
Was that
Bird
yours,
fight.
Jared? One of you had put something up on our chat. It was like a meme,
Yeah.
right, with the two birds
I did.
Yep.
going head to head fighting.
And you guys,
So-
nobody picked up on the fact that it was the theme song that I picked for that story was the
Yeah.
Angry Birds theme song. And nobody commented on that. It was like, oh my God, it went over everybody's head. My sister or somebody else said, oh, I never played that game much. Well, I didn't either, but I know the theme song for the Angry Birds, right? So I may have to repost that, pull it out of the archive and repost it. Yeah. Did any of you three pick it up that it was the Angry Birds theme?
Well, later when I was able to watch the video, yeah, I mean, I guess by the time I originally saw it, I was kind of at work, so I couldn't really have any audio. But once I got home and played it, oh, okay, it's been a while since I played it, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I just saw the title of it. I didn't actually play the audio, and I was like, Angry Birds? Okay. I didn't put two and two together, so it made sense after that, yeah.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, you should repost it. Yeah, now people will actually
Leon,
understand the content.
Did you ever play the Angry Birds game years ago?
Yeah, that was like what, middle school when that came out.
Don't make me laugh.
That was like maybe my first phone ? I
Oh,
had that
gee.
game. Yeah.
Okay.
Put
Okay.
Jared Till down. Wait.
I'd like to fill in my AARP application now, please.
All right, so that was a long time ago. I think before they clamped down on state government equipment, I think there were people that would play the Angry Birds game at work. And then, when they started to, like, Big Brother got a hold of everybody's work stuff, you couldn't get onto any of the gaming platforms or Facebook or any social media. You had to wait until you were outside of the building with your own personal stuff. Yeah.
Oh well. But yeah, no, I'm glad that these are going to be made as stickers because, you coined the term while we were there at the stadium, and it all happened so quick, right? I didn't even know that physical stickers were being made of this too. So shout out to Ian for working the magic to get the stickers printed on time for the next game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now I'm looking right now. I'm changing subjects on y'all. I know we usually look at the standings, and then or do we look at our future opponent? Because it's Las Vegas, and we're going to be seeing Jared Mazzola on TV unless we're going to the game. You guys, I am such a diehard fan. I looked at flights down and back, like leaving Saturday, midday and coming back that night. There are no flights that come back after the match is over. So it's like, I'm not sleeping in an airport. to catch an early morning flight back home. So I'm not flying in and out of Las Vegas, although I really wanted to, if there was a late flight returning, but there's not. So
I'm surprised that they don't have a late. You would think there's a lot of routes, like
not a late on a Saturday night, because everybody comes into Las Vegas on a Friday and leaves on Sunday. They don't go home Saturday night. So
yeah. See, she's not trying to pull my first adult trip to Las Vegas, where I landed in midday or so, stayed awake until early morning or so, going back. So she's not trying to pull that.
No, I would. There was some considerations, like where could I go where I could safely hang out and maybe take a nap. And it's like, I don't want to get a hotel room, that kind of thing. So yeah, no, I'm not going to do it. I really want to, because I really want to go see Jared Mazzola play live in Las Vegas. But Cashman Field, then all those memories, you guys remember last year, how effed up it was for us to get out of Cashman Field. We got in, but no Uber or Lyft drivers could figure out how to come and get us. So my sister and I had to walk through dicey neighborhoods to get to a street that was known to Uber and Lyft drivers. And by this time, I had ruined all my reputation with all the Lyft drivers in Las Vegas because I was cussing everybody out, right? So I don't think I ever want to go back to Cashman Field. It's in a dicey neighborhood.
Well, you won't have to worry about that much longer, because I believe this is the final year at Cashman, given the fact that they're looking to, I don't know if it's either renovate or just tear down, but I've been hearing this the last year at Cashman. I mean, believe me, they need a new place. I mean, even if it's playing at UNLV or some other place, yeah, I can vouch as far as the diciness once it hits nighttime. I mean, it's still far away from Fremont Street, so that doesn't help. I mean, if it was closer to Fremont Street or in a better area, yeah, easily.
Yeah, we had to walk by, what is it, the Neon graveyard?
Oh, the Neon Museum?
Museum, whatever. And, it was closed. And we kept telling the drivers that's where we were. And it was just, so to walk from Cashman to that Neon Museum thing, yeah, I never, ever, ever wanted to. I was in tears partway through, angry tears, because Uber drivers were idiots and they couldn't figure out how to come and get us. But number two, it was not safe. It did not feel safe.
Yeah.
Anyhow, another reason I'm glad I'm not going, but yeah, I really wanted to.
Yeah.
So we're in third place and our record looks decent, but I'm scared of San Antonio, you guys. They're doing too well.
I think I want to say it's early on the season. I feel like we'll see, maybe, I don't know, maybe 5-10 games from now, like what a form is, right? But because we could take a look at Oakland, right? They were also at the very top there. Granted, they still have one more game to catch up to most teams above them. But Oakland's at 7 points, 5th place. El Paso, though, is the one that thankfully we already played against them, but I think they're a candidate to be up there. They're going to be in the top 3 for sure, because I feel like they have a stronger team than even Uncle Ruckus up there, because they're in 2nd place, El Paso. So, but yeah, for us to be in 3rd right there, funny enough, the 3 California teams, excluding Monterey, are 3rd, 4th, 5th, right? You got Orange County in 4th, Oakland Roots in 5th. Now New Mexico's trying to make a comeback, right? They have 6 points. Right there, Lexington below them, 5 points. Colorado with 5, Tulsa with 5, and then Las Vegas we were playing against on Saturday. They're sitting in 10th, back to the old Vegas, right? Maybe right there with 4 points. They have one game, one tied, 3 losses. Phoenix, who we just beat, they're still winless in the season, 3 points, and then Monterey still winless. So shockingly, right? 2 points for them there, but
just want to add in here that Monterey did do us a favor and held San Antonio to a goalless draw in their last match.
That's true, which is shocking. This is why, again, I think, I don't know. I mean, Monterey, too, it's always a mystery, right? They're always low on the table, but they have good teams, right? So, I don't know. It's weird. I feel like they just don't have
I think that El Paso, the magic that they have is they know how to play 90 minutes with focused concentration, and they know how to do the press for 90 minutes if they have to. And they're very skilled defensively. We saw that and they also know how to flop.
Yeah, that's true. But let's take a look at Las Vegas recent form. So yesterday, speaking of El Paso, they actually lost 3-2 though. Granted, they were playing away and at El Paso, so I mean, I don't think it's easy to keep them to just one goal at their home. Before that, they beat Monterrey 1-0 at home, and then lost 3-2 against Tulsa. 3-2 also lost against Colorado, and tied 1-1 against Orange County. So, yeah, I mean, a bit of a mystery team, really. I mean, they're lower, but I mean, it's been close matches, right? You look at the three, there's no like crazy like 3-0, like 4-0 match there. So I don't know. You don't know what to expect with them.
Rion, are they scoring their goals in the early and then they give them up? I think I remember reading something about that they can't hold a lead if they have a lead. Is that? Do you remember that?
Give me 1 second. Orange County scored first there against Colorado Springs. That was kind of a comeback for Las Vegas. Tulsa. That was kind of a back and forth affair for that one.
Yeah, I'm probably thinking of a different team. Maybe it was Oakland. There was a team that they scored and they were ahead, and then they like literally just let the other team back in it. Maybe that was just an Oakland Cup match that just happened. I could be wrong.
Well, it was certainly Phoenix's mantra last season: build a good lead and then watch it collapse. It's happened on quite a few matches for them last year.
Might have been Phoenix.
Okay, all right, maybe. No, it was this year. It was already this season. You know,
Might have been Phoenix or Oakland, because Oakland did have a 2-0 lead on Phoenix and then gave it up.
Okay, that's probably what I'm thinking of, because yeah. Thank you for helping. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I will say that again. This could be a dangerous side, so we could see them in 10th place. But when you look at goals scored and goals against, they have 8 goals scored. They're actually, funny enough, right? Even though they're in 10th place, they're actually like second best offense in the West, right? Only tied with Colorado with 8, and El Paso's number 1 with 10. And then also the side that's gotten the more goals against, right, with 10 goals against. But again, their games have been close, right? It's just because they've had high-scoring matches. So I don't know. It's going to be a tough one to predict, because it could, I don't know, anything can happen in this one. Especially Jared knows us already as well, so there's that added factor there, right? And I'm sure he's going to want to have a standout performance, because obviously, right? I mean, he's playing against his former team, and you always want to have a good performance there. But yeah.
Well, we know so far as our former big names, they haven't quite done so greatly earlier. I mean, we look at Nick Ross with the penalty kick. I mean, who knows? I mean, Jared Mazzola, we definitely wish him all the luck, but not too much. But be great to see him again. But we'll see how that goes, because right now he is the glue that's keeping Las Vegas together, keeping them from being at the bottom of the basement there.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. They could be in that spot, which they are familiar with in other times. But I will say, Cristian Parano with Don Corocas, though, he's been doing pretty well, right? He got Team of the Week, right? I think he was named Team of the Week maybe the first or second week. So yeah, he's one of the former players who's been a standout player lately. All right. Well, you guys know that I wish I would have started the podcast with this. So let's go ahead and move on to the segment of the week here with podcast winner dinner, see how things went this week. And so let's go ahead and look at our predictions here for the game against Phoenix. So let me go ahead and
Rihanna, I don't know about you, but were we kind of hoping that Phoenix was going to get just one goal towards the end there, that they were going to see?
Either that or Sacramento gets a 3rd goal. That would have been great. That would have been fine too.
Yes. So I don't know if you guys could hear on the broadcast, but partway through the second half, my sister and I were chanting, 2 more goals, 2 more goals. And it was so funny because one of the coaches just whipped his head around and was like, what the heck are you guys talking about? 2 more goals. Or maybe it was, I forget, but it was kind of interesting to catch them hearing us getting 2 more goals after. Because, yes, more goals would have put us in better standing and would have knocked Luis out of his gloat.
Yeah, I mean, those final minutes were anxious for me, right? Because when I started to look at this and I was like, oh, okay, I'm good right now. And then realizing that you and Rian had guessed 2-1, I was like, oh, okay, this could, the standings are like, just, it could go either way, right? But thankfully the defense was on point. Shout out to all of our defenders for making sure that Danny got his clean sheet. All was well there. And also shout out to our forwards for saying like, you know what? Okay, we've scored enough on Phoenix. Like, let's just get the 2-0. Let's do a
Knock that off, Luis. Knock that off. We would have loved them to have run up the score, and our goal differential would be way different. Knock it off, Luis.
Yeah, but that was my consolation. I was like, you know what? I'm fine. It's final minutes. You know, it's fine. You know, 2-0. Like it's great for me. So in this match, of course, I got 2-0, and just for those of you who may have not heard it before, our new golden rule is like if you get the right score line, which all credit to Rian, who reminded us, like, hey, we talked about that. He did actually get the score in that first week, which funny enough was also 2-0. So maybe the dos a Cero is a lucky number there. But we actually established that. So that's how we get double points whenever we get the right score. And that's what happened here. I guess 2-0. I get my 2 points. Otherwise, I would have gone blank, which would have changed the standings here. But yeah, other than that, Sharon, Jared, and Rian did get a point for guessing Sac Republic getting that first yellow.
Which was weird.
Damn ref.
Because that wasn't even a yellow in my mind, but whatever.
That was like 5 minutes into the game. Where the hell did it come from?
The ref was card hungry too, right? I wouldn't talk about that, but how many cards did he give out? It seemed like
Rian will have that.
He wanted everyone to get a card.
9
Yeah,
cards.
9?
Yep.
9 cards.
Entire squad. Yeah.
The last time the Republic saw that many cards in a match in the league, because we just saw that against El Farolito, was against Charleston in September 2024 with 9 cards on that night.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Refs were not hungry. That refs had the munchies. They must have swung by Curaleaf before taking off from Phoenix or something.
That's funny.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there, but yeah. So that's that's what happened.
Score? Come on, scroll up.
So
Scroll up.
let's take a look at the standings here.
Oh my God, he zoomed it way in, so he's at 12. It's like, the 12 is like
we got to see the numbers right here. So
dude,
I reached the double-digit number.
He only would have had 10 points if if the team had scored more goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys would have had an extra point too. Would have been all 10. We would have been a tie for first place if Phoenix would have scored a goal. But thank you, Danny, for making sure they didn't score a goal.
Well, Rian and I were Rian pointed out that our team could have just scored more goals. So it would have been a 3-0, 4-0. Then you wouldn't have gotten any points, so you'd be back at 10.
Oh, yeah, but it would have been better for you guys. That's what I'm saying. Like, if they would have scored a goal, like, you guys would have been like, they scored. But hold on, here's my consolation.
Anyhow.
Yeah, so
there you are, sitting 3 points ahead of, us.
Yeah, 12 points. You and Rian have 9 points, and then Jared has 7 points there. So there's Open Cup though, like in a week, right? So I mean, that's how I managed to like move up, right? Open Cup. So
are we picking Open Cup too, or no? Can we?
No, that's for next week. No, but I'm just I'm getting ahead of myself, so you guys know that. Hey, the standings could change a lot. We know Open Cup changes them quite a bit.
I think Rian should go first because I went first last time, and you guys made fun of Rian for copying me. So I think Rian goes first this time.
Oh yeah, that's true. Now you get to copy Rian. All right, Rian.
I'm gonna copy Rian. We'll see.
Alrighty, Las Vegas. The question with this team is, can they get Johnny Rodriguez going against the Republic? He's kind of the front man. He's kind of the only man for the Las Vegas front line right now, and he's been kind of on form. But he doesn't have a good goal-scoring record against Sacramento. He's only scored 2 goals in 9 appearances. I'm going to go with a Sacramento 3-0 win here.
Hey,
I'm going...
We can't see it. We can't see
I'm going ambitious. I'm going with Sacramento continuing to roll their attack, and I think they're going to get the best of Las Vegas here. Then again, Las Vegas is a weird place, and I don't know what the heck to expect from Cashman Field. For goal scorers, I'm going to go with a Jago and Arturo as my backup. For the assist, I'm gonna go with Arturo and Wanner as my backup. And for first yellows, I mean, the last kind of match kind of inflated Sacramento's numbers a little bit, but I'm gonna go with Sacramento getting the first yellow. Las Vegas is only on 5 cards so far this season, and I'm gonna go with Benitez getting the first yellow.
The man who touches the ball a lot.
All right. For mine, I'm gonna say a 2-1 win for Sac. For the first goal scorer, I'm gonna go with. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna go with Dom. I feel like he gets a goal in the third game here. As a backup, I'll go with Jago. For the assist, I'm gonna go with Michel. As the backup, I'll go with. Let's see. I'll go with the Jago. We got it. Says this one. We'll see again. For the first yellow card, I'm actually gonna go with Las Vegas on this one, even if they don't have that many. Yeah. And then for the player to get the first yellow card, I'm gonna go with Lee Desmond this time. All right, Jared.
Jared dropped from this call.
Oh no, Jared disappeared.
Oh no, Jared's back. Hold on. There you go. Jared just he wanted to make his predictions, right? He was like, "Hold up, let me like choose my predictions." All right, Jared, you're up next.
All right, now that I'm back on here, you know what? I think I'm gonna ride this 2-0 trend and go 2-0 Sacramento. I want to say Wanner gets the first goal, but I'd rather him score the second goal again. So I'm going to say, as far as the first goal scored, now I guess maybe I could go with Lee Desmond. We'll go with Lee Desmond. You never know; he might get that next goal. Okay. Second. I guess the backup, if he doesn't get it, I'm going to go with Crisostomo. And for for assist, I'm going to go with Jago, and backup, I would go with Cambridge. I'm going to say Las Vegas gets the first yellow. For our first yellow, I am going to say Benitez.
All right, Sharon?
Sure. So I'm also going to stick with the 2-0 because I think I think Jared Mazzola is going to do good work. I almost did 2-1 like you, but I don't know. I have a good feeling about this one. My goal scorer is going to be Jago, and because Malongo is now back, he's my backup. And he looked pretty good last night, the little bit that he was able to play. My God, there are 4 guys that I want for my assist, and it goes like, but don't write anything down. Arturo, Michel, Domi, and Blake. So I have to narrow it down, and I'm going to go with Domi as my assist, and my backup is Blake, because I think he's got the hot hand. Sac is going to pull the first yellow, because we always do. And I can't decide if I want a Jago because he's a little hot and fiery. Otherwise, the little hint from Adam Moffat, I think, or Mark Anthony Kay. What do you guys think? Who's going to be more of a hothead in Las Vegas?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Right? Or do you do like Benitez because he touches the ball a lot? Or do you do Arturo because he's a hothead? We weren't expecting Chrysostomos to get a yellow card this last game, but he did. So, it's like, this is tough. This is hard right now because there's so many good things to pick from. I'm going to stick with Mark Anthony Kay. I'm going to say that he's going to, Mark Anthony Kay.
Yeah, gone are the days of the Luis Felipe guessing, right? When we were like, oh, Luis Felipe.
But if you noticed in the match, and Rion, I know you're going to back me up, Mark Anthony Kay was that funky force field. Nobody wanted to go up against him because he'll crack you, right? And he cracked a couple guys. And Aaron Essel cracked a couple guys. Who was it? Freddie Kleeman, the back of Freddie Kleeman's head? Or was it Mark Anthony Kay's? Cracked a guy's head open last night. So,
Yeah.
And the dude was that Freddie Kleeman?
Oh, I don't remember. But just backing you up, Kay got in the most duels amongst everybody in the Republic. Even though he lost a bunch of them, he was still fighting.
He was still fighting. Yeah, and so you don't want to go near him. If you're an attacker and you're not like him, you don't go near him. You just don't. He creates like this force field, which I like. We need guys like that. I think it was Freddie Kleeman. The back of Freddie Kleeman's head split the eye socket of a Phoenix player, which was really sad because he had to come off the field and go to the locker room and get stitched and come back. It was pretty brutal looking. And some idiot goes down to the rail and taking pictures of the dude when he's like right there next to the rail, all bloody. He's getting all the photos. It's like, come on. Anyhow, poor form.
Yeah, no, right. But maybe it was Freddie, right? I mean, again, I mentioned the play that happened earlier, right, where that ball hit his head, and then Freddie was like, nothing. I was like, whoa, Freddie's got a hard head. So, like, get hit by a ball like that, like, that's crazy, especially, like, the speed that the ball had. I'm like, yeah. But, no, it's great that we have guys like that this season, right? They're not afraid to go at it. I think Lee's, like, teaching them all very well, right? Like, they're seeing Lee, and they're like, I should be like Lee. Like he'll play. I mean, we heard him in the interview, right? I mean, the Open Cup run and how he was saving, his like surgery. And it's like, Lee, that's amazing. We would have never known that. I didn't know that. You seem normal.
So I know you're going to put in a request for another interview, and we're not going to say who, but I think we're going to get the request in, and hopefully we'll be able to get another interview slotted because it's really nice to have the interviews. And at this point, literally, Luis, anybody who wants to be on our podcast is worth asking to be interviewed, right? Because they're all good. They're all good sports.
Oh, yeah. Actually, no, we already mentioned it in the last podcast, so it's not really news to anyone, but we're going to...
We'll see. We
interview
got to ask. We got to
2.
get it scheduled with the communications group.
Oh, yeah. That's the next one that we're going to make sure we get to happen. Get him to be back on the podcast here.
Okay.
But all right. Well, on to our last segment here of the podcast, Goals of Gratitude. So Sharon, go ahead and introduce us to Goals of Gratitude.
All right. Introduction done, but I will say just grateful that my cold is almost over. Almost. I can't say it enough. I really want it to be over because I want to be normal again, but define normal. Here's somebody who I just posted. My weekend was such a freaking blur, but I'm so grateful for the folks that I get to hang out with that do good things. Tower Bridge Battalion, getting a card for Oscar because he lost his mom was almost like a few days shy of 100. They had a card for everybody to sign and celebrating birthdays together. And then my trash group always coming together and cleaning up miles of roadway over the weekend in the rural county. You can't go wrong with that. My sister showing up at games, and next thing you know, she's bringing me this wonderful creamy coffee. The espresso booth is back at Heart Health Park, so they have the iced coffee drinks. They're so delicious. Got to make sure you get one of those. And to today, watching my neighborhood get pulled together for an Easter, just so grateful to be able to see all these beautiful things and be around all these beautiful people. And Go Republic. Thank you, club, for putting on a good show over the weekend. It was wonderful. Connor, I had to say Connor Sutton, just for no reason. Connor.
Sharon, you shouldn't have told me that the iced espresso stand is back. I'm now craving one, and I could definitely be using that in front before each match.
Dude, does that mean you're coming to the Open Cup match on the 14th? It does, because maybe you're going to get given an espresso.
I'm gonna try and make it work. I will try. I will at least try and do that. But who knows what's happening with my work schedule. Anyways, Golossos. Just to shout out the national park system. I visited Pinnacles National Park over the weekend. Did a lot of hiking down there, and it was a great time. So support the national park system. Go visit your local national park or your local state park, or any green area that's out there. They're wonderful places, and they deserve all the resources they can get. Also, it's just been a great time to spend time with family. Just chill. Have a great time. The weather's been nice, and I've been enjoying it. Those are my Colossos. Jared, any Colossos for you?
All right, so I've definitely got some Colossus gratitude. First of all, going to my employer, my recently new employer, that after determination was able to give us Good Friday off to begin with. Initially, we weren't going to be having it off, but then turned out that we are. So definitely grateful for that. Also grateful to our neighbors, Ricky and Mary Catherine, for an excellent Easter meal we had earlier today. We definitely had to waddle back across the street home. So very thankful for them, for an excellent meal and a day out. Also, as of this time, Colossus gratitude to the Stockton Kings, who are now going to their second championship. They just beat the South Bay Lakers 101-97. So one more win, and I get to put in my order for back-to-back rounds. And of course, to the club for putting as much effort as they can on the pitch, and to Tower Bridge Battalion for taking care of the supporters. Those are the big ones I've got. What about you, Luis?
Hey, that's really awesome news. Because the Lakers affiliate team, I think they were first or second seed, right, or second seed, and they were traveling out there, right? So it's not easy to.
Oh no, the game was in SoCal.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so not easy to travel out there for them. So hopefully the senior team can learn something from that, right? Because I think they weren't doing. I mean, this season we know how they're doing. But for me, colossal gratitude. First one goes out to my Uncle Freddie for once again being on another game day video, and for sacrificing some sleep because he has to work early the next day, and also having to drive in that crazy weather that, again, we described in the last podcast. For everyone who drove out there, it was just an intense drive back, and none of us were expecting that because, of course, forecast said light rain, but go figure. Never light rain, like they say. Light rain at the stadium, though, I will say that. So at least it was there. Colossal gratitude to the rain for not being as strong while we were there at the game. And we actually will be doing another game day video for the game against Minnesota, like I mentioned earlier. So be on the lookout for that. And by that token, also colossal gratitude out to all the viewers and listeners of not only the podcast here, but also the YouTube channel, watching that video, watching the Farolito video as well. Again, we want to do more of those, and we also saw some subscribers happen. I'm not sure, maybe because of those videos that were put out, because we got a few views. But if you haven't seen those videos, go check them out. I just put some together real quick. Take some videos while I'm out there, just so you guys get the behind the scenes of what it's like to attend these matches, especially these Open Cup matches that are always a little different than league matches. So go and check them out on our YouTube channel or on sacsoccerpod.com. You could check it out on our videos tab. And then another one goes out to the Sac Republic players and the Valley 559 players at the Open Cup for always being amazing with the fans. But I want to give a really special one out to the Valley players, because we mentioned it on the last podcast, but their sportsmanship was amazing. I've never seen opposition team behave like they behaved with the away fans, right, with us there, and wishing us, a safe trip back home, thanking us for being out there, just attending the match. It's great. I think any other team should take note that that's how you treat away fans, right? And I hope that other teams could see that, and I'm glad that it was kind of shown there on that game day video towards the end. So shout out to them for being like that, and also for being good to our players, right? Having no Farolito fight with our players, despite losing 4-0, they had so much more sportsmanship than El Farolito did in their game. So I think they have a lot to learn from the Valley players there. All right. Last final parting words, y'all, before we say have a good morning, good night, and see you next week.
Just go Republic. Come on.
Yeah, for me, keep an eye on the site. I will have the match recap for Phoenix up. I'll have the first stats update of the season up. I will have a preview for Minnesota up at some point. Recaps all over the place. Just keep posted on the site.
Are we also going to have our Tuesday trivia this week?
I will try. I forgot last week. That slipped my mind.
There's no way you could have done it because that was game night.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah,
way. That
yeah.
was game day. There was no way. Too much.
I definitely did not have questions ready to go for that day, though.
Yeah, no. It's cool. And even if you don't, I mean, we can still entertain people's, whatever. We can do something fun if you don't. It's fine. But I think you get us some subscribers as well when you post your match recaps or your know your opponent. I think that helps. I think it helps a lot of people. I love reading your blogs. They're very solid. I love it.
And also over the next several months, expect some Darker Waves themed posts, maybe tying in Republic FC. Who knows? We might get some psychedelic furs or missing persons Republic FC posts in there. And of course, go Republic.
Yeah, so that's for me. Yeah, check out sacrapod.com so you can read Rian's All Squell blog, listen or watch to any of our podcast episodes. You can also watch our videos now that we've been putting up out there. And please subscribe to the podcast YouTube channel. Literally, as of this recording right now, we're just one subscriber away from hitting the 100 subscriber mark, which is a big deal to us. I know it's just 100, but it's like it takes longer to get to the first 100 than maybe the first 500. So that's what we're trying to hope for that. So please, if you're listening and you haven't subscribed yet, you might be subscriber number 100. So help us reach that goal. And if we've already reached it at this point, then please help us keep going. Ideally, it'd be really nice for us to be able to monetize that YouTube channel. And trust me, I'll keep putting more videos out there. But we need 1,000 subscribers for that. So we're taking a slow step to get up to that point. But we're just one away from 100. So shout out to everyone who's helped us since the last recording because we've seen that number move up. So thank you so much for that. And with that being said, y'all, thank you so much for watching or listening to tonight's episode. And you'll hear us sometime next week here on the Other Republic podcast.
Cue the music. Go Republic.